Hello and welcome to the Mind Detox podcast. I'm your host, Sandy Newbigging. I'm a trauma-aware therapeutic coach and meditation teacher known for unifying therapy and spirituality, and I'm the author of 12 books, including New Beginnings, Mind Calm, and Mind Detox. I've also been teaching my insights and techniques via my award-winning academy for almost 2 decades. For this podcast, I usually share extracts from my Calm Clan community webinars. I'm also sometimes joined by guest experts for the occasional chit-chat. All so you can heal the hidden causes of anything problematic going on in your life, and so you can access more peace and enjoy the best life possible. I've been a monk and had to get myself out of a spiritual cult. I have a busy clinic with lots of fascinating clients, stories and takeaways. I'm usually creating a course or writing a new book, and I'm on my own journey of healing and knowing myself. So thank you for joining me for this episode. You never quite know what you're going to get, but I hope you get a lot from listening. And without further ado, let's begin. Hello and welcome. Welcome to this meditation meeting. And I have a very special meditation lined up for you today. If you have used, enjoyed, benefited from the healing shame meditation that I released a while ago, I think you're going to really like this one. Okay? Has a similar structure to that one, but serves a different purpose. Now, ultimately, what this meditation we're going to learn today is going to do is it's going to help you to work on healing the fear of abandonment, the fear of abandonment. In fact, I was at one point going to call it abandon, D-O-N-E, like because you're going to be done with abandonment. Abandon, that was quite good. I was happy with that one. However, the more I sat with it, the more I used it myself, what it's really for, ultimately, is authenticity. So you can look at what the problem is, or you can look at, well, if I heal that, what do I get as a result of it? And so I thought maybe it better to focus more on the benefit of this meditation, which is authenticity. In other words, the freedom to be yourself. So the meditation is called Free to Be Me. Free to be me. And it's surprising how many of us aren't actually free to be me. Well, not me, but you know what I'm saying. Make that personal for you. Free to be you. And it actually opens up a very interesting, big conversation. And so I want to start with, why don't we feel free to be ourselves? And even if we aren't aware of it, how might we be lacking authenticity? And no one would intentionally lack authenticity, but there's reasons why we don't necessarily show up completely real, true, and honest. And instead, we present a version of ourselves to the world that we believe others will find more acceptable, that others might want, that others might love. And Gabor Maté shares a lot of really cool stuff about this. He says that people have 2 needs, attachment and authenticity. Okay, attachment and authenticity. He goes on to say, when authenticity threatens attachment, attachment always trumps authenticity. Let me repeat that. When authenticity threatens attachment, when being ourself threatens our connection, our being wanted, loved, accepted, and belonging, in other words, when being ourselves threatens that, we will exchange our authenticity for attachment. We'll exchange our authenticity for love, for being wanted, for being accepted. for not being abandoned, for not being rejected, for not being shut out, closed off, or whatever words you want to put for it. So how amazing is that? That's really powerful to really get your head around that. People have two needs: attachment, authenticity. When authenticity threatens attachment, attachment always trumps authenticity. We give up our authenticity to gain attachment. We can end up giving up our authenticity, our self, our true self. We present a facade. We say yes when we really want to say no. We do things out of obligation. We're compromising ourselves here, there, and everywhere in order to be loved, accepted, to experience connection. Okay? We know this. This is not brand new news, but it's hopefully giving you a context as to why you might want to use this meditation. And I took some notes from what Gabor Maté has said about the subject. But you know what? Why don't we just hear from the man himself? With us today, no, I'm joking. He's not with us today. He's not a surprise special guest. I wish that would be awesome. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little video by him. That's kind of, the next best thing. So I'm going to play Gabor Maté, so you can hear the man himself talking about authenticity. And I think this will give us a lot of motivation to use this meditation.
Well, just by simple definition, authentic comes from the word auto, which means the self. So authentic means being ourselves. Now we're born being ourselves. We can't help but to be born being ourselves, unless we're severely hurt in uterus and not well. We're just born ourselves. And that means we're connected to our gut feelings, to our emotions. We're totally in the present. We're not thinking about the past. We're not considering or worried about the future. We're just there with ourselves, with our bellies and our hearts and our nervous systems and our guts and all the emotions. That's what it means to be authentic, to be present with ourselves, connected to our bodies and to our emotions, and not to be afraid to be ourselves. That's what it means to be authentic. Now, for many of us, authenticity shows up in the lack of it. And virtually everyone has had the experience of saying something to somebody, or acting in a certain way, or trying to look in a certain way, and there's something in you says, I'm not being myself. I'm not being authentic. But that part that notices it, that's your authentic self. So what I say to people about authenticity is, it's an essential part of you. In fact, you can't help but be there because you're born with it, and you can never be without, you can never be shorn of it, you can never be robbed of it. But in order to belong and to fit in to your family and your society, you have to really surrender it and hide it and repress it and push it down and even lose contact with it. And there are many people in this society who are totally lost contact with it. And they do all kinds of things that makes them miserable and other people miserable, and they don't even realize it. They don't realize the source of it. So in terms of seeking authenticity, don't do that. Because the part of you that wants to find authenticity is already not authentic. The part of you that notices that you're not authentic, that's the authentic part. So pay attention to it. And then when you notice yourself not acting in an authentic way, I'm talking about something very simple. I come to town and maybe I'm friends with Raul or Isabel or Donna, any one of the names that I'm seeing on the screen right now. And I come to your town, wherever it is, whether it's Cape Town or Melbourne or Sydney or Kelowna, British Columbia. and I call you up and say, hey, Avril or Isabel or Raul or Sherry or whoever it is, do you want to have coffee with me? And you don't feel like it because you don't particularly feel like seeing me, or you've been up all night, you're tired, or you have other things to do that you'd rather do, but you don't say no. You don't say no because you're trying to please me and be nice and make sure that I'm not disappointed, which you think is your job not to disappoint me. So you say yes. That's inauthentic. The authentic thing is, I'm sorry, Gabor, I'm not up for it right now. That's the authentic thing. This morning, I'm very proud of myself. I had 3 requests for people writing books, asked me to read them and write blurbs for them. I don't have the time or the energy right now. I said no in every case. That's authentic. So notice when you're not being authentic. And then without being critical of yourself, oh, I wasn't being authentic. What terrible. Be curious. What was I afraid of? So you're going to find your authenticity by noticing where you're not authentic. And the part of you that is noticing it, not the part of you that's judging it, but the part of you that's just noticing it, I wasn't being authentic. I wonder why not. That's the authentic part. So to summarize, authenticity is simply a part of our essential nature. It's a part of every creature's essential nature. But pretty much human beings are the only animals who, for social reasons, give up their authenticity. So that's what I have to say about authenticity. It's the self. Now, people that go into it deeply will find that the self will have its physical aspects, it has psychological aspects, spiritual aspects. Some people will find that. I can't prescribe, nor can anybody else prescribe for anyone else what their authenticity should look like. But for most people, it's going to be shining in a number of different dimensions.
You said a lot of things in there. If I could play again and stop it every 3 seconds, probably, or every few seconds, and dissect it. The bits that jumped out for me was that it's your authentic nature and it's who you are when you're present. So it very much aligns with what we talk about here. You know, what's got authenticity got to do with the calm cloud or consciousness or being at peace? Well, we talk a lot here about being present, right? And when we're authentic, when authenticity naturally causes us to reside more in the present moment. So being authentic is to be ourselves, it's our authentic nature. And he talks about being present with ourselves, connected to our body and our emotions. So isn't that interesting that when we, in order to fit in, be loved, accepted, etc., we forsake the connection with ourselves. We disconnect from our body. We disconnect from our emotions. We have to, because our emotions are usually screaming in the opposite direction. For example, he talks about it not to not be afraid of being ourselves. Did that hit anybody? That when he said that about not being afraid of being ourselves, and we stop being ourselves in order to get connection or attachment. In order to belong and fit in, we have to suppress ourselves and be someone that is more acceptable, wanted, someone that's more lovable. And so, for example, he talks about how we end up saying yes. It's not the only criteria of authenticity, learning to say no, but it's one of the good examples that I think many of us are familiar with. And just sticking with Gabor before moving on to the next bit I wanted to talk about is he shares a beautiful quote that safety is not the absence of threat, Safety is the presence of connection. Safety is not the absence of threat, it's the presence of connection. And that is the perfect link, which is why this thing I keep talking about called abandonment or proximal abandonment is so key to our child's development on all levels, our ability to remain connected to ourselves and others, our ability to be generally successful later in life, essentially. When we're first born, connection equals protection, and protection equals safety. And if for any reason the primary caregiver, often referred to as mum, but I don't know if you're allowed to even say the word mum anymore because it might be politically incorrect. Everyone goes, yeah, I feel you, Kimberly. If mum or whoever is the primary caregiver, I'm not, and I mean that because maybe mum, something happened, mum. So whoever is really there with the child, the primary caregiver, if they're unable, if there's a failure to bond in any way whatsoever, if the parent is unable to match and mirror the child, in other words, if the parent is unable through their connection, mirroring, and bonding to help that child feel safe, soothed, seen, and secure, then there's probably going to be the development of a fear of abandonment. There's probably going to be an experience of abandonment in that child, which then causes what can be a lifelong fear of abandonment, not being abandoned. And that's when we start losing our authenticity, right? Because the child goes, it must be me. What can I do in order to be seen by my mum, be soothed by my mum, be made secure? What can I do? And that can cause us to start literally performing from very early on in our life and being someone or something that we believe they need us to be in order for them to want us, accept us, love us. Do you get the point, guys? Do you get the point? So this is why I want to do this meditation, free to be me. Um, it's it's as deep as you want to go with it. It could be just a self-image thing, or it could go to like the nature of the self type thing. Because obviously, the more we're doing to be someone, we're going to be moving away from the innate self that is, has been, and always will be. Okay. So you can engage this meditation at whatever level you wish, from simple self image or self development or self growth or self healing, and or to literally learn to really be the self again. So to do that, the meditation helps us to give ourselves what we might not have been given as a child today. We're going to be seen, we're going to be soothed, and we're going to be secure. So that's the first part of the meditation. I am seen, I'm soothed, I'm secure. And we're going to go from the navel, solar plexus, up to the heart. That's what we need, all of us, as babies, but also as big babies with hairy faces and you name it. You fill in the blank for the female equivalent. We all need to be seen, heard, soothed, and in that understood, and that gain that connection and belonging. That's where the healing lies. We can have 1,000,001 techniques and therapy techniques and meditation techniques, but that's the ultimate therapy. To be seen and understood and heard, to be soothed, whether that's soothing ourselves. That's why I recommended that book last month, which has got lots of practical ways to soothe the ANS. And we've got practical things that we do here for that as well. And ultimately to feel secure. And from that foundation, we then go into like kind of part two of the meditation, which I'm going to leave as a surprise for you. Let me just check my notes to see if there's anything I missed out before we teach the meditation. Another quote from Gabor that jumped out to me when preparing for today was that parenting is not about techniques. Parenting is about relationship. It's really that simple because that is our essence, relationship. Parenting is not about techniques. Parenting is about relationship. Okay? And for no fault of their for no fault, blame, or shaming, so few people know how to actually connect, how to relate, how to bond. And so that's why I keep talking in so many of my client sessions, we're healing proximal abandonment, this failure to bond between mother and child. And you know, from previous sessions and conversations, that spins off into insecurities, toxic shame, self-sabotage, health issues, anxiety, depression, inability to connect later in life, loneliness, chronic loneliness, even if you're in relationships with others, feeling like an island, blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on. So it's a big deal. So let's do it. Let's get into the meditation, shall we? Welcome to this meditation for being free to be your authentic self. To be authentic is to be your real and honest self. However, it is very common to stop being ourself by instead being what we believe others want us to be, in order for them to want us, to accept us, to love us. You see, when we are first born and during our early years, connection equals protection. And when we feel connected, we feel safe. This inner safety as a child allows for us to develop properly, remain connected to ourself, to be able to connect with others, and enjoy success on all levels later in life. And so, to be your authentic self, during the first part of this meditation, you're going to give yourself what you need as a child, the need to feel seen, soothed, and secure. So let's begin by sitting or laying comfortably before closing your eyes and just being here. Be where your body is. Be where life is happening. Right here, always here. For the next few minutes, you're going to enjoy a well-deserved time out. You're just going to be quiet. Rest into your completely acceptable and lovable self, and allow yourself to just be as you are. You have permission to do absolutely nothing. Just rest for a while, noticing that now is happening as you relax further and remain completely safe and comfortable as you are now. Breathe as you would naturally. Let any tension in your forehead and around your eyes to simply melt away, while remaining gently alert with your attention wide and open. Don't even try to meditate right. Just notice it is naturally happening by resting and remembering what it's like to just be. You know this state of effortless being. Just being. Being you. Here. Now. Gently aware. Wide and open. You can rest here now in the secure safe sanctuary of your innermost being. Remember, we can often give away our authenticity in order to be wanted, accepted, and loved. And so, for this meditation, we will occasionally think a series of healing thoughts for healing the fear of being abandoned, and so you can fearlessly be yourself. To enhance the embodiment of these healing thoughts, let yourself feel them as already true while thinking them. With consistent practice, they will feel more and more true for you. Okay, going further still into the healing stillness within. And with the knowing I am safe and your focus in the navel, think and feel, I am seen. Let the feeling of being witnessed and seen to linger as you repeat the thought as often as you wish to until we move on. I am seen. With the knowing I am safe and with your focus in your navel, think and feel, I am seen. Gently alert with your awareness wide and open. Now, with the knowing I am safe and with your focus in your solar plexus, think and feel, I am soothed. Let the comforting feeling of being soothed linger as you repeat the thought as often as you wish to until we move on. I am soothed. the knowing I am safe and with your focus in your solar plexus, think and feel I am soothed. Let the comforting feeling of being soothed linger as you repeat the thought as often as you wish to until we move on. I am soothed. Gently alert, awareness wide and open. Now, with the knowing I am safe and with your focus in your heart, think and feel I am secure. Let the feeling of being completely safe and secure to linger as you repeat the thought as often as you wish to until we move on. I am secure. With the knowing I am safe and your focus in your heart, think and feel I am secure. Gently alert, wide and open. knowing I am lovable. Return your focus to your navel and think and feel I am wanted. Let the feeling of being lovingly wanted to linger as you repeat the thought as often as you wish to until we move on. I am wanted. Knowing I am lovable, and with your focus in your navel, think and feel I am wanted. Gently aware, wide and open. Now, knowing I am lovable, and with your focus in your solar plexus, think and feel I am accepted. Let the feeling of being lovingly accepted linger as you repeat the thought as often as you wish to until we move on. I am accepted. Knowing I'm lovable, And with your focus in your solar plexus, think and feel, I am accepted. Gently alert with your awareness wide and open. Now, knowing I am lovable and with your focus in your heart, think and feel, I am loved. Let the feeling of being lovingly loved linger as you repeat the thought as often as you wish to until we move on. I am loved. Knowing I'm lovable and with the focus in the heart, think and feel, I am loved. Gently alert, wide and open. And finally, knowing that it's completely safe, and with your focus in your entire body, think and feel, I am free to be me. Let the feeling of it being safe to be your authentic self linger as you repeat as often as you wish to until we move on. I am free to be me. knowing that it's completely safe. And with your focus in the entire body, think and feel, I am free to be me. And so it is. You are wanted, you are accepted, and you are loved right now, always. You are fully deserving of love, connection, belonging, not by doing anything, but by being your authentic self. Breathe that in. Know this deeply, within all of yourself, on all levels. And so to end, and with your focus within your entire body, think I am free to be me 3 times, allowing yourself to feel it is already true as you do. I am free to be me. Before being here and now, fully awake and aware, by slowly opening your eyes. Thank you for joining me for this meditation. Bye for now. So to be authentic, we must heal our fear of abandonment, our fear of losing attachment. To be authentic, we must free ourselves from the fear of being ourself. To be authentic, we must free ourselves from the fear of being ourself. And that's deep, guys. Really check in as to whether there's any fear of being ourselves and how often we suppress ourselves, play down our personality to fit in. Thanks for joining me for today's episode. Please like, subscribe, and write a review wherever you happen to be listening. It really does help to support me and this podcast. For more information about my one-to-one sessions, Calm Clan community, books, and academy courses, head over now to minddetox.com.